Hello and welcome to another episode of Mike and Dave's Hi-Fi Riff. I'm Mike Evans.
And I'm David Price.
And David, on this week's riff, what are we going to be talking about?
It's the Bowers & Wilkins 607 Series 3 mic.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Brand new, straight out of the box, as it were.
Yep.
These are they've just replaced the S2, is
Yes,
that right?
that's right. The Series 3 has replaced the Series 2 mic.
Not much gets past me, really, does it?
I know, well, you're sharp. You're very sharp like that. You're hard to fool.
And actually, the S2s were a very nice loudspeaker. So
Yeah.
They've got some big boots to fill, haven't they?
They have.
In fact, we do have a pair here.
Yes.
So let's grab these, because do you know, I must say, we talk about speakers quite a lot on Riff, but these are really nice, aren't they? They're really lovely put together speakers. There you go. That's what you really want to see, isn't it? The nice sockets at the back.
Yeah.
Bi-wireable.
Well, of course, you'd have to get to that first, wouldn't you?
No, absolutely, of course, yeah.
There we go.
With its, I like this little bit of dimpling going on here. Look in the bass port. There's got a dimpled bass port.
I know. There's antibiotics for that now. But,
I should definitely take them.
But yes, it's it's if you've got a mega computer like the one at Bowers and Wilkins, you can do things like modelling whether a dimpled bass port sounds better than a not so dimpled one.
Well, and they're very lucky, aren't they, to be able to do stuff like that? And I think you're absolutely right, because that was something I was going to have a little chat about, because they've got some amazing R&D facilities,
Yes.
amazing R&D budget, clearly as well.
Yeah.
And we often talk about things like trickle down technology.
Yeah.
You can see they make some really classy speakers, and we've been fortunate enough to review them over the last 12 or so months.
Yes.
And these are sort of baby versions of some of their amazing speakers, aren't they?
I mean, these are basically entry-level B&Ws, £599.
Yeah.
And you can't get any cheaper B&W speakers. They are also the smallest they do as well. They're, as I called them earlier, they are side-firing Lin cans, aren't they?
Isn't that funny? Because we've got a pair of Lin can stands here.
Yeah.
And, the cans are actually exactly that width, aren't they?
Yes.
And these are, like you say, sort of side-firing.
Yeah.
So, in fact, we had to turn the can stands at 90 degrees to fit them on, and then they fitted absolutely perfectly.
Yeah.
Can stands look a little bit strange at an angle, but it works somehow,
it does,
doesn't it?
yeah.
So,
sounded really good, actually.
It sounded absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And for 600 quid.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
well, maybe there's a secret Lin Can fan in the B&W design office.
Maybe there's sort of sweet spot of size here.
Absolutely.
And I think actually I got the can stands from eBay, and they've been some of the most useful stands I've bought, because I'm a massive fan of sort of smaller form speakers, because I quite like it when the speaker sort of disappears in the soundstage.
Yes.
And you shut your eyes, you can't really tell where it's coming from.
Is that why you've got Lin Isobarics quad 63s, Mike? Those famous smaller form speakers.
Right. Yes, yeah. I just realised I sort of setting myself a bit of a trap there. But I do also have a pair of cans, and I'm a huge fan of ProAct super tablets.
Yes.
And we've never reviewed a pair of super tablets.
No.
I would actually love to do that. I still look at, we digress a little bit, but I still look on eBay regularly to see if they come up. And when they do, they're proper money still. They hold their value.
Yeah.
But I would say these would probably most definitely give any speaker under this form factor under £1,000 a really good run for its money, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, maybe not quite 1,000, but certainly 750, that kind of thing, 800. If you've got that amount of design resources and production facility, you can kind of really go for it, can't you? And what they've done with the Series 3 is basically improve the tweeter. I think that's the main thing here. So it's now a titanium double dome tweeter. It's previously it was aluminium. So basically it's a lower mass design. It takes it moves energy. It makes the transients faster, and gives you hopefully lower coloration if it's done properly. The mid bass unit down here is B&W's now ubiquitous Continuum, it's called, and this is the replacement to Kevlar that they sort of used for so many years, and finally decided that it was too coloured. And the Continuum cones, I think, are really good. They're very neutral sounding cone material, and these have had, I think, uprated motor systems, a stronger motor assembly fitted. So compared to the Series 2, which, as Mike pointed out earlier, came before the Series 3. Just in case you weren't sure. So yeah, better tweeter and better mid-bass driver. That's, I think worthy upgrades, because I think I did the 607 Series 2, ages back. And I remember thinking, very good for the price, etc. These are a bit more expensive, but not much more, and I think they're noticeably better sounding.
When you have a car has a facelift, in its design process, and they quite often then get rid of the pre-facelift cars off cheap.
Yes.
B&W are doing the same with their Series 2s, and I think you can pick them up for about £350 a pair at the moment, which is a proper veritable bargain.
Good. It is a good bargain.
But all I might say is, if you're going to do that, then make sure you don't listen to these.
Yes.
Because I think you'll probably want to spend the extra £350 and get these, because these really are very special.
Yeah.
And
or even 250.
Was it? My maths is excellent. I was allowing for the can stands in the price.
He's been on the sherry again, viewers. So. Great point though.
But I think that these are a really lovely, especially bottom end. For a tiny little drive unit, they really make a great effort of putting some proper bass out, don't they? It's really nice. But I think the really special bit is definitely this new treble unit, this titanium tweeter. Sounds lovely, silky smooth. It's got loads of fun. It's dynamic. I really like it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely smooth for the price point.
Yes.
If you hear a substantially more expensive speaker like the Acoustic Energy Coriniums that we did, you'll hear a lot smoother. But still, compared to what is around at the price point, then as you say, Mike, you're quite right. The tweeter is a real strong point, and it gives a nice kind of sheen and energy to cymbals. So in La Villa Strangiata, it really gives you a lovely kind of treble sound. It's kind of crisp and fast and propulsive, isn't it?
Really brilliant.
Yes. And it matches well to the mid bass unit. There's no sort of funny squawky bits as the two drivers try and integrate with one another. So it's done very well, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Can I just mention the Coriniums again, which we did a riff on recently, which we really liked actually.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit. Well, you did about amp and speaker matching.
Yeah.
Now we used these with your Sony amplifier again, didn't we? And it was okay, wasn't it? But I still felt like these might need a bit more power.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Would you feel the same about that?
Yes, absolutely. So B&W say that these are 30 watts to 100 watts in terms of recommended amplifier power.
Yes.
I think if...
And what's your Sony?
90.
Okay. What about in Class A mode?
It's 18, I think.
18.
So,
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is that these have a quoted sensitivity of 84 dB, which is sort of LS35A type sensitivity.
Yes.
So you really do need a chunky solid state power amp for these to get the best out of them.
We know what the LS35As are like to drive, don't we? They're tricky. I remember you had the demo, didn't you, with the A1 and the 35As, and just didn't quite feel the A1 had enough
Didn't
enough
really,
power for them.
No.
And it's the same with this. It's amazing, isn't it? It's often the way with small form speakers that they do need quite a lot of grunt. I mean, the classic, I suppose, are the Lin cans. You know, when you could, you needed two sort of name 250s to drive a pair of Lin cans.
To go louder than your transistor radio.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Now these aren't quite like that, and that's not where we're going. And your amplifier actually did an excellent job of it. But I can't help but think they would work really well with a big amp.
Definitely. I mean, I think Bauer's recommendation of 30 watts is a little bit optimistic. I think probably 40 or 50 at the very least to really work. And they go to the nominal impedance is 8 ohms, but actually they go down to 3. So again, that's quite hard work for some amps. So you've got the irony that Bauer's, I think, cheapest speaker is also one of its hardest to drive.
Absolutely.
So maybe the 800 series is a little bit worse, but still, in this kind of budget sector, it's not something you could get away with a Chord Annie or something. A 10 watt desktop amp. No. So, but when they do have enough grunt, enough power driving them, you get a fast and engaging and dynamic sound, I think.
Yes.
And they hide their problems very well. So, I mean, no speaker at this price, in fact, no speaker at any price really is perfect. But goes even more for a £600 bookshelf. But what they don't do is alert you to the problems that they have. So you can put them on, sit back, enjoy the music, and you're not thinking, my God, I can hear that tweeter clanging away on the hi-hats.
I really liked them. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
I thought they sounded super. You played a song I hadn't heard before, actually, earlier. You played an Art of Noise song on an SACD.
Moments in Love.
Fantastic. Yeah. It sounded amazing. And that's live, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that sounded so good. And it was just, these were really open and dynamic. Tonally, I thought really quite seductive. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that was just a brilliant a brilliant track for them. And we tracked a couple of tricky songs at them, as you say, that Rush song, that La Villa Strangiato. I've heard that sound ear-splittingly horrible, but none of that with these. They were super, absolutely super. And also, we didn't do their party trick, did we? So we didn't by wire them.
No,
that was just single wire with the what do you call them? The jumpers in. Thank you very much. And worked a treat, didn't it?
Yeah,
worked really, really well. So very much like these.
And that sounded really good with 07's first album as well.
Yes. So I hadn't heard them before. That was good.
A lovely kind of.
Very good.
I was going to say modern, but it's over 20 years old now. But,
it's modern for us.
It's modern for us. Yeah. Yes. A great LP, I think. Great album, great CD.
07.
Yeah. And nice vocals, nothing nasal, nothing shouty. So they do the sort of clever trick of being, I think, reasonably refined for a budget speaker, whilst being also quite a lot of fun to listen to.
Great fun to listen to.
Often with budget speakers, the designers think, well, I've got so little money to spend on the cabinet, on the drive units, etc. I just try and make it sound as fun as possible.
Yes.
But these do have a reasonable amount of kind of technical virtuosity as well as being fun. They're reasonably even. You can play a wide variety of music and enjoy it. And they've got a kind of rhythmic snap that just kind of gets things going.
I agree.
And also dynamic as well, as we say, providing you've got a reasonably powerful amp.
Yeah, they're actually very hard to fault. At that price point, they're brilliant. I don't know the answer to this because I haven't done my homework properly, but I'm assuming they're going to come in different finishes. So
this is the wood vinyl wrap. All of them are vinyl wrap, obviously.
Yes.
Because of the price, but the vinyl wrap is about as good as it gets for vinyl wrap. I think you're not aware of it.
No, I wouldn't know that.
It's not like an 1980s more than short MS10 with the vinyl peeling off the back.
No, not at all.
But you can also get them in white or black as well, I think.
They're
so
very nice, very stylish looking loudspeaker.
Yeah.
And a lot of bang for the buck. So really love those.
Yeah.
Let's do a riffometer on these, shall we? For these lovely B&Ws. What are you going to give them?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to give them 8.5.
Okay.
So actually, in terms of sound, they're great. They're really good. They probably, they're an easy 9. I think they're as good as anything you're going to get in terms of sound quality, if not better, at the price by quite a way. But I just think they're a bit too hard to drive, basically, compared to some.
Sure.
So it's just they lose that little extra half for that. So by all means, listen to it. If you've got a reasonably powerful amplifier, it won't be a problem. But those of you trying to get away with sort of 20 or 30 watts, I think might be suboptimal. I think that's the way to say.
Yeah, no, I get it. I do get it. And actually, on that note, it sort of makes you wonder, actually what you'd need to have. I think you probably need, at least sort of $2,500 integrated, exposure sort of thing, or
I think that would be ideal. I mean, if you went with an expensive source and a relatively expensive source and a relatively expensive amp, these would work really nicely, and you get the absolute best out of them.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yes.
But I think there's plenty around from about £1,000 plus that could drive these in terms of integrated amps.
There you go.
That would drive it without too much trouble. But it's just not you couldn't put an old NAD 3020 on it and expect to get the best from them.
Or as you say, a Chord Annie or something like that.
Just a little bit, it's like a flag there saying, be careful what you put into them.
Well, look, I'm actually going to give these a 9.
Okay.
I think these are terrific.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really impressed with them.
Yeah,
and I would happily live with those.
Yeah.
I just think, whether they be if you had a fairly smallish listening room, they'd fill it brilliantly, or a great second system speaker. Just again, fantastic. I think they look really nice. But for me, they tick loads of boxes. Main one, I think, is sort of bang for the buck. So I just think they're really, really cleverly price pointed.
I do too.
Again, well done, B&W. Top job. Top job. Do like these very much. So,
absolutely. Very, very capable all-round design, and it's going to be the speaker at this price point that all the other manufacturers are trying to beat. And I suspect they'll have problems.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. Well done. Excellent. Look, good riff. Great speakers. Thank you so much again for watching this episode of Mike and Dave's Hi-Fi Riff, and we'll look very much forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.